The attacking moves Pokemon learn generally synergize well with their base stats. Physical attackers tend to learn a lot of physical moves, and special attackers tend to learn a lot of special moves. For some Pokemon though, this is not the case, leaving them lacking options of moves that match their higher attacking stat. So in this video, I'll be discussing Pokemon that quote-unquote learn the wrong moves because they have more attacking options of moves that correspond with their lower attacking stat. For some of them, they also have more setup options that boost their lower attacking stat, which I will mention where applicable. All move pools will be taken from the most recent game that they were in, by the way, which is Gen 8 and 9 for all of them, so no dexited moves. Starting off, we have Sceptile learning more physical moves despite having higher special attack, 46 as opposed to 17. Sceptile is the fully evolved starter from the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, a gen that came before the physical special split. So, Sceptile's signature move at the time, Leaf Blade, was a special move. Even in Gen 3, Sceptile still mostly learned physical moves, since Normal, Fighting, Steel, Flying, and Rock were all physical. Flash forward to Gen 9, where Leaf Blade is physical, and a lot of its best moves are still physical. It does get good special stab, with Giga Drain, Energy Ball, Leaf Storm, and Solar Beam, but its coverage options are almost entirely physical. It gets Acrobatics, Thunder Punch, Dragon Claw, Rock Slide, X Scissor, Crunch, Earthquake, and a whole bunch of fighting options as opposed to just Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast, and Vacuum Wave for special. Its setup options lean it into being physical too, with it getting Swords Dance and Dragon Dance, status moves that raise its attack, and Trailblaze and Scale Shot, physical attacking moves that raise speed. Quiver Dance I get that it doesn't learn, since that move is almost exclusive to bugs, but I feel like it should get at least one of the following moves of Calm Mind, Nasty Plot, Meteor Beam, or Charge Beam. Meteor Beam would be especially good since it would combo well with the Power Herb, allowing it to be consumed and then double Sceptile's speed from Unburden, but no, Game Freak really wants Sceptile to be a physical attacker. Next, we have Ho-Oh learning more special moves despite having higher physical attack, 26 as opposed to 16. As a legendary Pokemon, Ho-Oh obviously has high stats all around, so both of its attacking stats are definitely usable. It has Sacred Fire for physical fire stab, and Brave Bird for physical flying stab, both of which are great options that would lean it towards being a physical attacker. For its coverage and setup options though, it has way better special moves. Earthquake, Zen Headbutt, and Iron Head are really the only coverage moves it gets on the physical side, while it gets Earth Power, Thunderbolt, Ancient Power, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Giga Drain, and Weather Ball on the special side. For setup, it gets Calm Mind, a move that raises its special attack and special defense, not Bulk Up or Swords Dance, moves that raise physical attack and or physical defense. It does have Flame Charge for setting up its speed, but doesn't have any physical moves that can raise its attack, which it does have for special attack with the special move Charge Beam. Since its physical stab of Sacred Fire and Brave Bird is just so good though, it generally doesn't mind much that its physical coverage options are lacking. The only single type to resist both fire and flying is Rock, which Ho-Oh has physical coverage for with Earthquake. It is still annoying that Ho-Oh has no way of setting up its physical attack though, unless you count the 10% chance of getting the Ancient Power Omni Boost. Next, we have Typhlosion learning more physical moves despite having higher special attack, 37 as opposed to 20. This is actually true of both forms of Typhlosion, but slightly more so for regular Typhlosion than Hisuian, so let's just focus on regular Typhlosion. Regular Typhlosion is a pure fire type that does get good special fire stab, with it being able to choose from Heat Wave, Eruption, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and Overheat, and some more niche picks like Burning Jealousy, Fire Pledge, and Blast Burn since it's a starter. For coverage and setup though, it has way better physical options. Its special coverage options are limited to Solar Beam, Scorching Sands, Focus Blast, and Shadow Ball, while its physical coverage options include Low Kick, Earthquake, Wild Charge, Throat Chop, Play Rough, Iron Head, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, Zen Headbutt, Brick Break, and Aerial Ace. Regular Typhlosion doesn't learn any status moves that can raise its special attack, with it getting Curse and Howl for raising its physical attack. It also has the physical move Flame Charge to raise its speed, but no such special move. Next, we have Tapu Koko learning more special moves despite having higher physical attack, 19 as opposed to 17. Tapu Koko was a Pokemon I mentioned in my Pokemon that used their worst attacking stat video, which is a very similar concept, but surprisingly, it's the only one that appears on both lists. I was debating if I should include mons like Nidoking on this list as well, but the thing is, Nidoking actually does learn more physical moves than special. The physical moves it gets though either have lower base power or don't have a secondary effect compared to the special moves it gets, making special the better option due to Nidoking's desired ability of sheer force. The same cannot be said about most of the other mons on this list, since the attacking moves of their higher attacking stat that they do get are still good enough to want to use their higher attacking stat. Anyway, Tapu Koko is an electric fairy type, both types that are much better on the special side than on the physical side. Tapu Koko in particular learns no physical attacking fairy moves at all, with it getting the special fairy move Dazzling Gleam. For physical electric moves, they all suck compared to the special electric moves it gets. Its coverage options probably are better on the physical side, with it getting Iron Head, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and Assurance for physical, as opposed to Grass Knot and Stored Power for special, but it gets Calm Mind for setting up, not Bulk Up. Next, we have Keldeo learning more physical moves despite having higher special attack, 23 as opposed to 15. Keldeo is one of the 4 Swords of Justice, but it is kind of the odd one out, mainly because of 2 reasons. It is the only one that is a mythical, not a legendary, and the only one with higher special attack than physical attack. Unfortunately for Keldeo, it seems that this quartet was made with physical attacking in mind, since they all got Justified, an ability that raises physical attack when hit with a dark type move, which is pretty useless on Keldeo as a special attacker. They also all got the signature at the time physical move Sacred Sword, but Keldeo did get another signature move with Secret Sword that's special. It can also use Aura Sphere and Focus Blast for special fighting stab if it doesn't want to use Secret Sword. It has good special water stab options with Surf, Hydro Pump, and Muddy Water. For coverage and setup though, physical is where it's at for Keldeo. It gets Stone Edge, X-Scissor, Poison Jab, Smart Strike, and Aerial Ace for physical, as opposed to just Icy Wind and Air Slash for special. For setup, it does get Calm Mind, but it doesn't get Nasty Plot and instead has Swords Dance. It also has no way of setting up its speed outside of Trailblaze, a physical move, just like Typhlosion with Flame Charge. Next, we have Klinklang learning more special moves despite having higher physical attack, 16 as opposed to 9. Klinklang has one of the worst attacking move pools of any fully evolved Pokemon ever. Out of those 9 physical moves it learns, 4 of them are normal type. Those 5 non-normal moves are Gear Grind, Steel Roller, Wild Charge, Assurance, and Rock Smash. Not exactly great options. Its special moves on the other hand are actually decent, which include Discharge, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, Power Gem, Steel Beam, Charge Beam, and Rising Voltage. It actually gets way more electric moves than steel moves, and I was even thinking of making that a focus of this video, Pokemon that learn more moves of their non-stab type, but I couldn't really find many good entries for that, so maybe if you could help me out, I'll make that a separate video. For its setup, Klinklang has the really good setup move Shift Gear to raise its physical attack and speed, which is just too good not to use even with Klinklang's terrible physical move pool, since its special move pool isn't that much better. Next, we have Pincurchin learning more special moves despite having higher physical attack, 19 as opposed to 15. Pincurchin isn't really known to be a very threatening attacker at all, and doesn't really thrive in any one area particularly well, so I was debating if I should even include it on this list. It is still true though that it learns more special moves than physical, so I decided to keep it in. Electric is just a way better special type than physical type, with Pincurchin having access to moves like Thunderbolt, Discharge, Charge Beam, Thunder, and Electro Web. Pincurchin actually does get a good physical electric move in Zing Zap, but I did some calcs, and with Thunderbolt's higher base power, it will do more damage than Zing Zap even though Pincurchin has higher physical attack. Pincurchin is also so slow that it will hardly ever be able to take advantage of the flinching effect. It also gets a lot of special water moves like Muddy Water, Scald, Hydro Pump, Surf, and Chilling Water, with Hex and Venoshock being its other coverage options. Its physical coverage moves are decent, being Poison Jab, Liquidation, Reversal, Sucker Punch, and Throat Chop, but with Scald being as good as it is, and Thunderbolt having higher base power than Zing Zap, Special is probably the better option on Pincurchin. Lastly, we have quite a few honorable mentions. These are mons that do learn more attacking moves of their lower attacking stat, but I wouldn't really say that their lower attacking stat move pool is better overall. Spoiler, they're all mons with higher special attack that learn more physical moves. Physical moves tend to be worse since a lot of them have lower base power, make contact, or deal recoil damage, not to mention all the other hurdles to physical attacking like burn and intimidate. I did still want to mention these mons though, and will explain why their special move pools are generally better. First honorable mention is our Chaladon. Our Chaladon learns 26 physical moves as opposed to 15 special moves, but it has good enough special moves that its physical moves generally aren't worth using. For stab, it has either Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor for Dragon, and Flash Cannon or Steel Beam for Steel. These are great options since it means our Chaladon has the choice between a lower base power move with more consistency, or a higher base power move with less consistency for both of its stabs. It also has the busted signature move Electro Shot, which is already 3 of its move slots. The 4th move is typically reserved for Body Press, which is a physical move, but it doesn't use physical attack in the damage calculation, but rather physical defense, so not really a physical move in the traditional sense. Its other physical options are Foul Play, which also doesn't use the user's attack stat in the damage calculation, stab moves that are just generally worse than its special stab, normal moves like Double Edge and Body Slam, inaccurate rock moves, and Earthquake, which is probably its only option maybe worth using. Next, we have Lucario, which learns 41 physical moves as opposed to 14 special moves. For this entry, I actually would say that Lucario's physical move pool is better than its special move pool, but I'm making it an honorable mention because 110 compared to 115 might as well be considered the same attack and special attack to me. Lucario can comfortably go physical or special since it gets both Bulk Up and Calm Mind and both Swords Dance and Nasty Plot. I knew that I'd probably be getting some comments asking about Lucario if I didn't mention it somewhere though. Next, we have Hydreigon, which learns 35 physical moves as opposed to 19 special moves. It has great special Dragon and Dark Stab with Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, and Dark Pulse, with good special coverage options too, with Focus Blast, Flamethrower, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, and Surf. It has even more coverage options on the physical side, like Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake, Dual Wing Beat, U-Turn, and the Elemental Fangs, but special is generally still preferred since the physical moves it gets have lower base power and or accuracy, and Hydreigon gets Nasty Plot for setting up, not Swords Dance. Next, we have Zoroark, but let's mainly focus on Hisuian Zoroark. Hisuian Zoroark learns 26 physical moves as opposed to 18 special moves, and the main reason that it learns so many physical moves is that regular Zoroark is a dark type, and Hisuian Zoroark just apparently learns every dark type move that regular Zoroark gets. None of those 7 physical dark moves would really be worth using over Dark Pulse though, except maybe Knockoff since it has such a good secondary effect. For stab, Hyper Voice and Shadow Ball are generally preferred over Body Slam and Poltergeist, with it having special coverage options like Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Psychic, and Grass Knot, but not many physical moves. Since it gets Swords Dance and Nasty Plot, it would generally prefer just going special. Next, we have Yanmega. Yanmega learns 21 physical moves as opposed to 14 special moves, and it's in a similar situation as Zoroark, which is that it just learns a bunch of physical bug moves, with none of them really being good enough to want to be used over Bug Buzz. It also has quite a few physical normal moves that you never use, since most mons overall tend to learn normal moves like Tackle, Takedown, and things like that. So it really doesn't have much physical coverage worth using, since it gets solid special moves like Shadow Ball, Giga Drain, and Psychic. Next, we have Empoleon. Empoleon learns 33 physical moves as opposed to 29 special moves. Since Empoleon is technically a bird Pokemon, it learns physical flying moves like Dual Wing Beat, Aerial Lace, Peck, and Drill Peck. Like Yanmega, it learns a bunch of physical normal moves like Takedown and Body Slam, but you wouldn't really ever want to use any of them. The only physical move worth using is probably Earthquake, since the only special ground move it gets is Mud Slap, but it learns special moves for almost all of the same types as the physical moves it learns. And last honorable mention goes to Hydrapple. Hydrapple learns 22 physical moves as opposed to 19 special moves, which is the second closest margin of any other entry after Tapu Koko. Same as Empoleon and Yanmega, it just gets a bunch of physical normal moves, so no reason to use them over its special moves. And those are Pokemon that learn the wrong moves since they correspond with their lower attacking stat. Let me know in the comments if you feel that I missed any, or if you have any suggestions for the video idea I said with Klinklang, Pokemon that learn more moves of their non-stab type. Anyway, if you want to support me and my channel, the best way to do so is just by leaving a nice comment. I do read all comments and will try my best to respond to as many as I can. You can also click the join button and become a member, and I made the cost as low as possible at 99 cents USD. Members get a badge next to their name and 4-day early video release access. Keep in mind that these videos will be releasing on my normal schedule of 10 AM EST for non-members, so please don't feel obligated at all to join unless you really want to support me and you are financially capable of doing so. Huge thanks to all my members. I really appreciate your continued support for the channel. Likes are also one of the ways that YouTube determines if a video should be passed around to more people, so if you feel that this video deserves to be, I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.